just gotta keep. That's our audience. You don't know now, but you will find. You don't know now, but you will find. You don't know now, but you will find out.
You don't know, but you know.
You don't know now, but you. You don't know now, but you.
What's up, y'all? You know now. We're back. Okay.
We're back.
We're back. We're back. We're back. What's up, y'all? It is another episode of Transparent Energy with your hostesses with the Mostesses. Me, Trey and B.
And the lovely Bambi D.
Straight out the Philadelphia 215. We're live.
And where some people get silly. But
we're live.
I gotta say that part.
Right, no. Well, you know, we gotta rep for our girl. Always.
Cookie. Rest well, Cookie.
Because
she made it hot with the whole, silly and Philly.
She left the mark.
Baby, she left it.
Left the mark. So, anyway, y'all, what's good? I hope you guys are feeling good. I'm feeling great today. It's a beautiful day. Y'all see I got my hair done, so I'm feeling cute.
And it's cute.
Some fresh braids underneath here, so feeling good, smelling good.
Rooted fingers.
You look beautiful as well.
Thank you, but I can't get over this hair.
Thank you. Shout out to Albert Chestnut from the Philadelphia area.
Wait a minute. Not Albert from Southwest.
But yeah.
Walnut Avenue, Southwest?
Yeah, that Albert
Oh,
yes. See, he's known by being in the North, but he used to talk to listening music in the Southwest. So yeah. But that is one of my hairstylists that's been in my hairstylist for a long time, ever since I was like a young girl. He used to do my shortcuts. And I always just go to him for certain things, certain cuts or certain stuff that I want done specifically because people get like, I'm a girl that, hair is not my profession, but I'm one of them girls that I can do my own. Thank God that I can do my own hair. I know how to throw my own stuff in it as well. So I don't really be needing people on a constant base to do basic styles that I can kind of do.
But isn't that crazy though? Like how the times have changed.
Yeah, like
we came up in the era where if we weren't taught, we taught ourselves.
Right, exactly. I mean, they're doing it now though too. I guess to a YouTube, but we kind of learned.
But when I say we didn't have the YouTubes, we didn't have the digital networking. We had to really learn it from the muscle.
From the muscle.
I come from where. Like, I still had to use the cassette tapes to record off the radio. Right. You know what I mean? So it was just a different timing.
VHS.
Right. And I say that to say, sometimes I look at people and I'm just like, I respect and I love what y'all doing with your makeups and your promotions and doing all this. And I love it. Sometimes it just makes me think like, I wish I had that kind of connection. I wish the connection was so available then how it is now. Because when my mom did not sign my papers for me to go to cosmetology in high school, I thought I was defeated. But for some reason, that creativity, that creative, is stuck with me.
And you learn a lot of stuff on your own. So if you do decide to go back to school, friend, which I think you should, if that door's open one day for you, you should go back. Don't ever, because that's something that you love to do. And I think that's like on top of you being an awesome, actress and writer and all that. I think that you should. That's a passion of yours. And I think that you should go back and definitely pursue it.
Thanks, Juju. I think I am.
Yeah. So, I think we all do.
But I was about to say, I think you do too, especially because
I'm always pushing everybody else. I'm right behind me to stop playing too, guys.
Yeah, you do. You're very.
And you know what's so awesome is like we're multi-talented people, which I know a lot of our viewers hopefully did. You guys also too, because if you're attracted to us and you're attracted to that multi-creative vibe, you're like y'all.
The eclectic vibe.
Y'all can feel the transparent energy, but it's just dope being a multi-gifted kind of individual. It's also complicated and hard though because you never know which way to go, and I think that's the part that gets us all stuck and stagnant because it's like we can go so many ways. You don't want to make the wrong choices,
and at the same time, like you're so right. At the same time, as not knowing which way to go, sometimes not making the wrong choices. There's so many avenues we could go. Mm-hmm. There's so many avenues we could travel, and sometimes it's creatively stressful.
Yeah.
You know, like,
very creatively structured.
do I want to make me an outfit today, or do I want to finish polishing this brand here? You know, or I've always had this other idea I've been sitting on. Like, do I need to just get up and just get that done? Like, a lot of people don't understand what creative stress, you know, is.
A lot of creatives, that's why a lot of creatives deal with procrastination and laziness and just like F itness. Because it's like, you be like, I just, you know, I give up. It's just, I can't, you know, it's just a lot. But before we go any further, y'all, because we're already going, you already know how we start off our show.
We gotta have our affirmations. We gotta bless
the atmosphere as usual.
And remind us of who we are.
And what we are going to be. And stuff of that nature. So, you want to start this week?
Absolutely. I'll start this week because I'm short and contrite, so I'm to the point this week. And I want to start. We don't want any technical difficulties. But I'll begin with saying we are forgiving.
We are.
And I've been constantly telling myself this because I've been working on I'm working on manipulating the energy that comes my way to counter it. That means I'm working on how I'm reacting to things. And that's really hard. That's really, really, really hard. And one thing that I have to keep telling myself is just forgive them.
And I was going to say, because one thing that you said is your hardest is forgiveness.
Yes.
So that's really, for you to say that, it shook me. Because I was surprised.
You know, I'm avidly working on me. I'm all I got.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all I got. And if you're all you got, then you know where it's coming from. So we are forgiving.
We are forgiving. Yeah.
Secondly, we are reflections of one another. I believe that wholeheartedly. I'm starting to run into people where they either remind me of my past or remind me of someone from my past, and vice versa thereof, or whatever. It's just freaky. If unable to learn, then we will teach.
If unable to learn, then we will teach.
And I think that will ultimately keep your mind productive, and ultimately keep us open to each other's differences, because we all don't know the same things, you know, but we're all susceptible to learn. We just have to learn what it means to learn as an adult, in society, not in school, not behind authorities, you know, but to learn each other's differences. Whereas though, you know, hey, I can now teach you about something that you never thought of. For me, right. for me, I'm learning forgiveness, you know, and as much as I heard it religiously and, you know, it never, I can honestly say it didn't resonate to where I'm at now until this point of my life. Like, forgiveness is freaking prevalent. We are always mindful.
We are always mindful.
And finally, we must be patient with others.
We must be patient with others.
Now, I know a lot of my affirmations really all came from me and a lot of what I'm going through and what I've been going through in the last couple of weeks. But I feel like at the same time, what's for me is for you guys.
It's for somebody, yeah. Because sometimes a lot of what you going through, somebody else is going through too.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's a testament to that. All right. So mine is we are love.
We are love.
We are smart.
We are smart.
And we are game changers.
We are game changers.
And we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
We are fearfully and wonderfully made.
You know, I know, like I said, well, that sounds familiar. Yes, it's from the Bible. It's a scripture. And if you want to find it, it's in Psalms 139, verse 14. But that scripture is just hit because of what we're going to be talking about today. And fearfully, because people say, well, how can you add fearfully to wonderfully if fearfully is kind of like being scared or fearful? And I wrote something that says, and fearfully meaning extraordinary. This is a synonym for fearfully. It means extraordinary, different, something special.
Synonyms, for those who don't know what your synonyms and antonyms are, synonyms are
no,
synonyms mean the same.
Yeah.
Synonyms mean the same.
Thank you.
So it's another word for it.
Some people, but for real, like we don't want to mistake everybody knowing what we're talking about with certain stuff. Some people really don't. So
so that's why we teach.
Yes. See? All right. So it says it's something special about you in each and every one of us. We are pieces of art created by our Creator. Mm-hmm. It's something so delicate and fearful about all of us, about the way we handle each other, the way we handle ourselves, and we all should be handled and treated with care. Okay, that's what I mean. That's what it more so means by like fearful. Like you know how you touch a baby or you pick up a baby and you don't want to like you be so fearful of dropping her or dropping because it's so delicate, so precious.
Absolutely.
A lot of things we don't like about ourselves is actually what makes us who we are. That's our superpowers. A lot of things that you can.
That was big.
But I don't want to go. But yes, a lot of things about us is what makes us unique. You know, especially a lot of the things that we hate about ourselves. That's what makes us super duper unique and beautiful and unique. Yeah, unique. And our insecurities are also our superpowers. So, and that's it. Yeah, that's it for that. That's it for that. For the affirmations.
That last one, we're going to envelop into a little more later
because
that's okay.
That goes into insecurity.
Absolutely,
and that's something that I think a lot of us, and especially in the world we're living in now, with so much of the plastic surgery and something that you talked about last week, which I think I'm getting chills talking about it, guys. That's why I love this because we were literally talking about something last week, and I just want to touch on it real fast. Because we were out, just like I said, as we were recording last week, we were caught in the mist, and some guys were taking pictures of us, and we loved the pictures and stuff like that. It kind of wasn't our favorites because it was kind of caught off guard moments, but it still was beautiful, I guess, from someone else's eye as well. But at the same time, one thing my girlfriend was saying that I loved that she said is how when we're around each other, we don't make each other feel insecure. Like how you were saying about being sometimes around girls that might be a little more bodied out than you, and you being a slimmer figured girl, you know, it can kind of make you feel away or, you know, certain kind of things. And I think that's awesome that first of all that you can express that. But it's also so prevalent in our society now how so many people are not happy with themselves. And I think what's so dope about you, I always tell you, is that you are somebody that I love, that's so comfortable in their skin. And that helps me be more comfortable because I'm not. People would think, oh, girl, she looks so. And I thank people for that. Thank y'all. Thank you because I know I'm an attractive girl. I know I look good. But you will be surprised that I have a lot of my own insecurities and a lot of things about me that I don't like. But being around certain people can help you bring out that, you know, help you not be so like timid or try to hide it. And that's one thing that my friend does. And like I said, we'll talk about later in the show, but yeah, we have to really be comfortable in our skin and know that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And God has made everyone different. Even twins are different. I mean, if they look alike, they're all different. We all got something special about us, and we should embrace it. And we really have to embrace our differences.
And actually, you don't even know that is the key. That is the key to the success of life and every relationship. And this is one of the reasons why, you know, our relationships don't work is because we have a hard time collectively as people accepting the differences of others.
Yes, in this Western society, girl, it's sick. It's sick. So, do you got something to start off?
Well, first, I want to talk. Let's do a shared topic first. Okay. And I want to start with boom.
Okay, yeah. Let's get
boom diggity. We did it. Can we bring it forward? Yeah, wait. How we do like that? Like that? That's how they do it. Look at it. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. You gotta put your hand behind it or something. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Right. So, see, when I look at these things, my greedy self, I automatically think it's macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was a I was like, "Where's the biscuits?" When it came.
Well, you know when they run out of the large ones, they give you 2 of these. So
Okay, yeah.
I said, "Oh, wait a minute." Mm-hmm.
But
these are the
hot topic of the week. Another way of the new chicken sandwich. The new spicy chicken. I said, get it, guys again.
The new chicken demic.
The new chicken demic. They got the glass again.
But this time it isn't chicken.
It isn't as big.
It's starch.
And they didn't run people over and hurt people over this. So.
No, what do you mean?
Remember the spicy chicken sandwich was people were fighting over the chicken, going ham, like it was a big thing.
No,
that's why they
are you serious?
They knew they was doing to the community because some people got crazy for them chicken sandwiches.
That's when they must have really put crack in the chicken or something, because I've never heard of anybody fighting over.
Yeah, they went off. They went off. Okay,
so we have got the
hot topic of the week.
The hot topic of the week. If it's not on your timeline, then what are you talking about? Because I'd love to know. This it's a little dry, but I guess it's a biscuit. I don't know if it's cream filled or jelly filled inside.
I think
it's no jelly.
So it's no cream inside, but there's cream on top.
It's no cream inside. It's no jelly. Look, leave it up to Juju.
All right, so it's no cream. It's no
cream filling. It looked like maybe something.
It looked like cornbread
was baked in it. It looked like it was cause see how the little driblets, like as if it was baked in the batter,
like jelly or something.
Right. I thought it was something that might have been poured on it.
Well, let's try it.
Let's see. It tastes like
a sweet biscuit,
like a pastry or something.
They're definitely giving pastry.
I'm giving something $4.
I guess it's not as dry as the regular biscuit because it was in here. Not dry.
It could be a little moist though. Like when I bite into it, I want to.
It should have been cream inside.
Some fruit juice or something.
They should give you your own cream.
Oh wait, did they give us extra jelly?
They didn't give us no jelly. Lose your head on.
Well, it's a biscuit.
It's a biscuit with cum on top.
Did you just say that? Moving right along. I think that's enough of Pop Pope. Yes.
Yeah, my girl is not living. She's not living on. So.
I would have preferred the biscuit. I mean, I'm not gonna front for the camera. I am gonna take it, but I gotta eat this slow, and I don't have time to eat slow and chat and give you guys the goods. But moving forward. So let's give it a review.
I would give it, from me, 1 out of 10 or 5.
1 out of 10.
I'll give it like a...
Same time, ready? 1, 2, 3,
7.
6.
I'm about to say 6 or 7. I'm about to say 6 or 7. You was thinking right away, but yeah.
That's the transparent energy.
Yep. All right, so, guys, we can't go without talking about what happened this week, the mass shooting.
But before we go on about that, let's touch up our lips a little bit. Okay? Because we did, that biscuit. It's a biscuit. It wasn't a pastry cake, so biscuit leave dry. Biscuit leave a little dryness. Dry crumbs and stuff. Can't be having all of that. But no, what happened this week? Because I don't.
Okay.
I'm unaware.
All right, y'all. So there was another. Sorry, guys. There was another mass shooting this week in Tennessee. And it was at a Christian academy. 6 people got killed. 3 teachers, 1 black, 2 white, and the rest was white children.
Was it by a girl?
The trans man. So we about to go. This rabbit hole is about to. You're fine. This rabbit hole is about to go all the way into.
Remember?
Wait.
the other week I talked about how.
I don't want you to forget it.
We talked about something where, remember I said it's so funny how they open the veil for us to shine light, and then something happened, and now it's going to be a domino effect of showing us in a bad light. I said that.
Okay, so let me say, because this is where we're going to go with it. Okay, so first of all, prayers for the families and prayers for the individuals.
Condolences.
And it's really super, super duper, like, sad. And again, our condolences to the families and the students and the principals and all that. But this time, the shooter wasn't a woman. I mean, wasn't a man. It was a woman. But they're saying, first of all, they're saying that the woman was already mentally disturbed. And now they're trying to say, but, because I've heard a couple of different interviews and just reports, because some people were saying, too, that she was claiming to be a trans man. But we don't know if she really said it or if the news is trying to put it on her, like how they do. To make her, like how you said, because it's such a big controversy now. If y'all all know, it's a big controversy with shutting down the drag shows and just stopping, like how we've been talking about. Just so crazy. We really be on. Yeah, we've been really on cue. So we've been talking already and let you guys in on. If you haven't listened, go back to our previous, our
tune in. I'm telling you, if you're not getting it on social media, you're going to get it here.
You're going to hear it.
Transparent
We're very. We like to get to stuff, and we get it first too here. So, but long story short, the lady is claiming that she is crazy. Well, they're saying that she's crazy, but again, they're trying to put on this trans man label on her, I guess, to create and finish their agenda, because that's the real agenda. There is like this violence towards LGBTQ people is going on right now. Trying to take a lot of laws away. Remember, we was always talking about that, laws, and just trying to take a lot of our rights. And
not only that, you realize that most people who sit in those places and take the statistics and judges and do all of that, those are the people, and more like them, that say a lot of trans people or gay people, they link autism to
what, having sex with somebody gay?
No. They basically say it's a mental disorder. So when I hear you saying that the news is putting out there that this trans individual could be mental,
first
to me is a slap in the face as to what I was hearing early in the beginning of the other years, during the campaigns of the presidents, when they kept saying, why are we fighting for these people who need psychological evaluations?
That's everybody's thing. We need help. Something's wrong with us. We're mentally insane, and I'm telling you, it's been a lot going on with the LGBTQ community. I don't know if it's because it's so visible nowadays. Because, like I said, when we were coming up, it was aware, but people were not this open. People were not this out. People were not this. It's like, and the sissies, the cisgenders are going crazy. They can't take this. They are like, and then the religious people, the cisgender religious folks are the ones that can't stand this.
And it almost looks like a good plan gone bad.
Yeah.
Whereas though it was like, let's exploit them. Let's use them to get our gain. Mm-hmm. And once they put us on a platform, we took off. Everybody wanted a piece. Everybody wanted
how we said they do it in slavery with the farms. How they introduced them to these homosexual acts and raped them and did all this emasculation, and then you turn around and put in the Bible that you guys added stuff to, because the real scriptures don't say if y'all look in it and really go back into your history. But how do y'all going to perform homosexual acts on these men and rape them and then tell them later on that they're abomination for doing it?
Especially after you force them.
After you force them into doing it.
You force them, and now it's conditioned.
Yes.
Now it's something that you taught us to do.
Yeah.
And now the manipulation can be debunked. Now we see. Now we can see what it is. But it's nothing. It's nothing short. It's nothing short than something going good that's about or could potentially go even greater.
Right.
And when something is always good or great, it becomes a threat. To who? Not to us and not to anybody that we're thinking of, but to those who want to be in control.
So much power. That's
exactly.
It's all about power.
It's fucking
like,
sick.
It's sick. Like, why do you want power over so? Like, what? Like,
because they don't know how to harness the power that they already have.
That's why they don't want us to harness it.
Because they know the power that we have.
That's why, like they said.
But it's why it's because they ain't got no power.
That's the real thing.
They don't got no power.
But
there are other things that you can control. We gave you control over the animals. Moving.
But like I said, but back to that, they're trying now. Like I said, it's up because we don't really know if the lady really claimed this or if the news is just trying to put it on her to create this narrative of trans people again. Like how we know. I'm pretty sure. I go with the latter. I believe that it's an agenda that's trying to be pushed, the real agenda, to cause more diversion, to cause more divisiveness, cause more havoc in our communities because they don't have no other ways to control us but by causing division between us, as
and us attacking each other, doing their job for them.
Mm-hmm.
I second that notion. I know that it's agenda. I know it's agenda, just like I know that the Fox, CNN, NBC, ABC, NCIS, and all those other news networks are fed information to feed us specifically. Specifically, you ask what specifics? What's going on in the world? Do not tell them what's going on in the world. Keep the rhetoric of what we want to happen. So exactly. So when you say mental illness, trans person, violent attack or murder or something heinous happening, those are the perfect ingredients to blackball us.
And it's put everybody in the same group because that's what they do.
And since 65, and I'm just going off of my many moons of experience of being here, but 68% of the population in the United Corporation of America lives and breathes from the news. You understand? Mm-hmm. So once they already know, the seed has been implemented from that from you exactly from them going off the news and from them feeding our news reporters and saying, hey, put this out there, trans, violent attack. Because that's how they read it. Look, we're going to give you a couple of ingredients and make a meal out of it. Trans, murder, Tennessee. Make it happen. Kids, make it happen.
Yeah. White kids.
Mental disorders. Make it happen.
White kids is the one.
And unfortunately, we have not had most of the population in this country.
We never had no trans mass shooter, so I guess
exploit
we ain't never had in the history of America a trans shooter. So this is just like
distractions,
agendas, all kind of stuff to just throw people off to cause more mass hysteria and all kind of crazy stuff.
Distractions. You have anything else?
No, go ahead, because it's just
distractions. Moving right into distractions. Over the weekend, I don't know if you guys noticed.
But hold on, wait. Continue to pray for Tennessee.
Please. Please, Tennessee. Prayers for Tennessee. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if you noticed, guys, over the weekend, piggybacking off of distractions, there was this game or whatever. I'm not into sports. I don't know nothing about sports. But there was a game, and all I seen was Megan Thee Stallion in this white baseball outfit.
Oh, yeah, Astros a baseball game. Mm-hmm. Okay. She's so nice. She's giving me like Foxy Cleopatra.
She did look a little hot, little...
I like her.
She looked really good. Well, if you notice, she was wearing angel numbers.
Yeah, she was. 222.
Okay. And the thing with angel numbers, everyone, is the power in which the numbers have, they're just that. Excuse me. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get worse. Right. It's just that.
Yeah, if anything, look too much into it.
The only thing you can do was manifest it stronger. Mm-hmm. Like if anything,
it's just like kind of like a positive reminder to think positive. Like
exactly,
it makes you feel good if you see the number. Okay, that means something good. Let me think. So that
exactly. And that was one of the key distractions over the weekend that we didn't notice, even myself. The fact that not that she was looking really good, and the cameraman at the baseball at the game in history was the first time that the camera stayed on a non-player for the amount of time that they did, focusing on her walking out to the field, but we're really supposed to be focusing on those that she had on her back. And what it was, whatever the manifestation was, as a if the manifestation was distraction, they nailed it, because nobody talked about Trump getting indicted.
Sure enough. That's stupid.
Distraction.
I keep hearing that he's about to get.
No, he's indicted.
Really?
Yep, he was indicted. The same as everybody was looking at Megan's body in that suit.
They're so smart. That's what we said about the news.
As we were all paying attention to Megan, we didn't even know we were being distracted. President Trump got indicted. Now, I don't know what that means to you, but it's a threat to my being.
Because they did say if it gets...
It's a threat to my being.
He got a lot of crazy fans.
Not only that, the U.S. dollar, and I know y'all hear me talk about it. If you don't,
about to go to
it's done. It's done. It's done. And I'm gonna say it again. It's done. It means nothing outside of it means nothing outside of the country. As a matter of fact, the China, Russia, Sweden, and a few other countries have decided to back up the Chinese yuan. YUEN is the name of their currency. So they plan.
Oh, the yen.
Yes. So they plan to back up the yen with gold bars and digital currency. So yes, that definitely means that we are about to do a digital currency. We're going to be rationed off with the money that we get. And the people, basically, whoever holds the most gold, which is right now is Uganda, because that's another war going on, but that's another subject.
And ain't they the same place that just hit, or is that Ghana? What's Uganda? Where they just had the LGBTQ?
They're two different places, but it is the same region.
Okay.
They are neighboring countries. But yeah, the dollar is nothing, and basically what that means to us over here in the United States is, and I hate to say it, but yes, it's about to get real. Prepare for, I'm not going to say war, but prepare for real riots. Prepare for things that you only see happen in movies. And most of all, potentially, they did say prepare for martial law. And when they was even declaring martial law back when, in 2020, when COVID really got out of hand, I took it as a...
Because I see encampments, camps. They going... This is why it's like... I guess it's easier. That's why they kind of making it harder for people to live a little bit. So people can only depend... Like, where people can go on the streets. Where... Because the streets is kind of only where they kind of got control. Because when people had their own... Like, people own their houses and, rent their own homes, they that's their stuff. But if people are like... If so many people are being pushed out to the streets, that's a way for them to control them in these... tent camps and stuff, and then say, look, we're going to take you guys all, round them up.
Absolutely. That is the plan.
We've seen a lot of other countries go through poverty. It's our turn.
It is our turn, and we're going to get it so bad because we sat around and watched. It felt fat and sold it to everybody like this was the place to be. Come over here. No, we're about to get it really.
Then all these people come over here for $10,000 and them getting money. And you got.
But in a sense, all of us won't be affected.
Right, all of us won't. Yeah.
All of us won't be, but unfortunately, the majority, and even that, and I'm speaking like in a spiritual warfare kind of way.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I know you're talking about that, so I say you're
awesome. Right. So unfortunately, I know I'm going to lose people that's close to me. That it's probably the reason why I don't have an itch to save now, because.
Do you think that's probably why we go through all we had to go through? Because there's one time when them survival skills really come in handy.
I do. I believe that now. I believe that
because we are going to be people that people lean on because we know how it feels. That's why I said, how they say, Romans 8:28 says, for all things work together for the good. So no matter what you go through is going to work together for you, especially if you know if your heart is right, if you love God and in your mind, you know what I mean?
And I feel that to make sense because it's like we don't know where we're going, but God knows where we're going. Mm-hmm. And not only does God know where we're going, God also knows who's going to be there with you.
Us, yeah.
You know what I mean? So in the sense,
oh
yeah, if then I feel like we're already working.
Like truthfully, like even with like the COVID joint, they ain't bother me. Did it bother you?
You know what? COVID
didn't bother me because what we and not to say like that, but we have an isolated lifestyle to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Where and then for some of us, including myself, that have been, have had sex work as an occupation. But we was up in these rooms and hotels pretty much every day waiting for something to call. So
I'm a little bit of a socialite. I go out to the bars.
So staying home, staying home wasn't hard. It was not hard for me. It wasn't. And thank God I was able to go to work, so I didn't have to stay home like everybody else did. I was able to go to work, but
yeah, it was only God that said, you know what, I've took you through whatever I took you with what you're going through. Now I got to prepare you, and I feel like take over. And they already have. You know, I feel like, but that's how God is working with me right now. Like God is like, especially for the things that are just happening to me. I didn't even tell you what happened to me just the other day, and I'm going to tell you. It was basically the same thing that Miss Thing did. But it was with a boy, like, really? Yes, despicable, and all I could do was laugh at myself.
You got to stop.
You know what? You know what? But that's what I said to myself too. I said I gotta stop. But you know what? You know what's
off camera, but yeah.
But you know what? I'm about to go through something. And whatever I'm about to go through is either something that I went through before and did it wrong. Mm-hmm. And I feel like these mishaps, these things that are happening to me that I know I'm able to prevent that shouldn't even happen are getting through because maybe my training and manipulating my reaction and the energies, because these things should not be happening to me this late in life. Right. This where I'm at,
but like I said, also, so a lot of times when the blessings around the corner, a lot of this crazy stuff happens to throw you off, to make you go crazy, to make you not believe or have faith that something good is coming. It makes you want to.
Yes. Yeah. So I know something is coming because there's no possible way. Like I even had, I said, I said, really? I said, you know what? You got that. You're the second person that got me in 2 weeks. I'm done.
It's a wrap, Donna.
It's a wrap.
No company,
no nothing. I'm not doing it.
Nobody like that. Right?
Yeah. It's just over with. But Trump's indicted. Too many distractions going on, and the dollar is getting ready to be nothing. So if you don't have gold, you have to sign up for digital currency. And if you're not going to do that, then it's time for us to come together and start making something happen for real, for real. Moving right along, I've always been, I'm a history guru, and I've always loved our people, and I love our people. But I learned an interesting fact, something I think I already known, though, about Hitler. Are you familiar with Hitler?
Yes.
Well, what I've learned about Hitler, and it's crazy because out of all the teachings that I've learned about him, it kind of goes into the manipulation of the system and how these people, try to condition us because they don't teach us, they condition us.
They condition us, for sure.
I never could hate Hitler, and I never knew why I couldn't while being fed all of what they wanted me to. I never could find myself to be like, wow.
Why?
And I think I know why. And this is because this girl. I've gathered research. Right. Hitler wasn't a nut. Hitler knew. In a nutshell, and I'm gonna just be brief, really quick. Hitler knew the real Jews are blacks. The real, in a sense, whereas though the chosen ones are the blacks, are us in the Americas, who have worldwide, by the world they know, we have been tricked and taught what we've been taught purposely to hide who we really are. And when Hitler found out that we are the true, we are the real. That is why he started killing off the white people, or the you know, the those people. He said he was killing off those people because one of them not being true, them being in a position that they stole, and two, more so in an oxymorish kind of way, whereas though on his deathbed he said, the day we find out who we really are, it could potentially start like World War III. It's that serious because it doesn't only equate to. I mean, mostly, I guess at that time, it mostly equated to the, blacks over here in the Americas. Mm-hmm. But given the time since then up until now, I'm sure there's been a lot of interceding.
Yes.
Whereas though
mixing and matching.
Right. Whereas though I believe primarily, like I'm from the Americas naturally, not being a slave. I'm Aboriginal to this land. But I know that it is possible that some of my peoples from this land have been taken to other lands, just like we've received other people from other lands. So, in a sense, it's just like, I don't know. For me,
there was more behind the mask.
It was a lot more behind the mask.
I believe it is. Like I can believe that. And like I can not to even to a certain extent. I can believe that because predominantly that's who we kill. Like you don't really see too much black people they kill.
And it makes me feel like why it's kind of like
definitely targeted them.
He did. And what we got taught was basically like he wasn't a good person. He did this to many people. But you know what? He was y'all who did that to us. So why do we have to shame him? What did he do so bad? What was it? And I figured it out. He knew the truth. And he was already doing the job. Mm-hmm. He was getting rid of them like we were supposed to. But we were tricked, manipulated, flipped the script, and we became...
a lot of innocent people did get hurt too.
Even though a lot of innocent
people...
But
I get what you're saying. Because the truth, a lot of innocent people got hurt too.
That's one of the big conversations that go on today when people be like, oh, well, the people from the Holocaust, they gave reparations or whatever, this, that, and the third, and why should
they do? And that is messed up that we don't. But that's probably...
But that was another thing. This corporation is, I forgot the name that they used, but we actually, like, for example, the monies that we give Ukraine, the monies that we give...
We gave them so much money.
A lot of us don't know that right. those pieces of money, basically, I ain't saying it right, but you know what I mean. Right. They go to a sanction. Those monies go to certain sanctions that the United States has set up, basically to say as hush money, basically.
I believe that
as hush money
because I watch some things where they say that the United States is kind of like a prostitute.
Yeah.
Like they symbolize us as a harlot prostitute that tried to get over on her Johns, and she did for a minute, but they caught on there.
And she is. Ain't nothing worse than this supposed to be the land of the free. Come get your milk and honey, and when you get here, the first thing you got to do is go through customs. That ain't milk and honey. Honey. I mean, that's what it is. You don't go in any other country and got to go through customs.
Oh no, that's fine. All right, guys, we are back. We must have talked about this. Because we just went through about 15 minutes of like your mic just went out.
My mic went out,
and then my other portable mic is going.
Her portable mic. Now, I was telling her that I believe in the fifth dimension, in other words, in parallel universes. So what I told her was, we are somewhere probably doing the same thing, and there's no way they both needed microphones.
Her microphone literally,
my microphone,
because hers is supposed to be green, which means that it's on.
Which means that's on.
And
It's activated by touch.
Yeah,
And
my other, because we got our own little personal mics that we use for more sound, and it was on my shirt and it's gone.
It's gone.
Like, it's nowhere in here.
It's gone. It's gone. Just like my sound that's touch activated will not come back on. Her microphone is gone. If the energy isn't transparent, now it's translucent.
And at least y'all caught this on, because we're gonna leave that.
Right, and I need y'all to go back. As a matter of fact, we have to go back and watch it and see exactly when especially when your mic disappeared, because I was just looking at your mic. I was.
It's not when,
and it's not in this trash bag.
It's not in my bag. It's not in my bra. Y'all, this is freaky. This is daytime, so it's not like it's nighttime.
And we're the only paranormal activity in the studio. So
paranormal activity. But no, we talking that right stuff.
We are talking that right stuff.
So let's finish what we were saying.
And
you ain't stop nothing.
And all continue with the right stuff. And this must be a prevalent conversation
that needs to be talked about. Okay. Girl, hopefully they don't try to stitch us up when we go up. Real? But again, like how you said, back to the Hitler thing, because that's what we that's where we stopped off at, was you telling us how what we are taught about Hitler is that he hated Jews and but he's a bad guy. But like how they say about everybody got some type of good, and again, he was not right for killing people. But again, like you said, his real reason for killing a lot of these Jews that they say allegedly is
primarily because he knew that they were wrong, because we were wrong, not us as in people, that they were wrong for what they were doing, lying
about who the real true Jews were,
lying about who the real true Jews were, and most of all, going into agreement with the American corporation to be paid off to basically keep this secret as long as you keep paying. And a lot of times that's what we don't realize, that this country is paying a lot of hush money so that other countries won't.
Like how we went back to the analogy, like a prostitute, or like somebody, like a prostitute getting tricked, and and get her coins and doing her stunts and lying and manipulating, and then finally catch her.
Yeah, and
that's what America's doing. We are finally. That's how I know that things are going to turn around, especially even for melanated people, because just as well as this world is turning around, because with how the law of attraction, what goes up must come down, what goes around comes around. So a lot of this stuff that these years that a lot of melanated and brown and black people have taken, a lot of these centuries and years, 400 plus years of slaveries and just being mind warped, all this stuff, that's going to come back.
It is.
And
the irony and what I love about it is, and I'm going to tell you, because there is something to love about it.
That time is coming back.
The fact that majority of us know what it is to come from nothing according to the society that we've been born in. A lot of us know what it is to come from nothing according to the systematic structure in which we were forced to even be in. So it's funny to see the people in power running away, trying to give out their wealth and riches now as a gesture of humility, but it's not enough, because when the economy and everything collapses for them, just like it will for us, we are the only ones who have struggled, who have mastered survival. We call it survival, a way of living. They call it savagery and ghetto. At least you know what to call us.
Right.
At least you know we make it through. And for me, the love in it is the day when this economy does fall, and after the squabble, because we're all going to be in a kerfuffle in our minds. There's going to be a little bit of chaos, but collectively, I believe we're going to be the ones to get it together to lift each other up and remind us just how I'm doing now. This, and they weren't even here to help. So now we can go through it again, and now we don't have to even think about and we can start over something new, completely new. Talk of welfare, we are the fair of the well-being. Let's be fair and well and be well upon each other, like we already instinctively know how to do. You know.
Well, let's get into our topic for today, which is insecurities and being secure in them. I think this is a perfect topic because not only have I been going through my own things lately with just embracing my insecurities, embracing a lot of things by myself, even with the podcast, because again, it's very hard to get up here and talk in front of people. I say all the time, like even though I've done my little stuff here and there, it's very hard talking in front of people, especially when you are a person that gets very nervous and starts to flutter and stutter,
Or it's not a
forget what you're going to say,
in public,
right? Or even
I was always somebody. Believe it or not, I had to teach myself how to speak in public because I knew I always had something to say. I knew I always had a lot to say.
I always just talk.
But when it came to speaking to people, I would stutter. I couldn't relax my mind enough to be able to get to a point, and I found myself just babbling.
Right, just saying anything.
So it takes practice.
It takes practice, and like I said, even just the way we sound sometimes it can be a little distraction. But I'm learning as well every day to start embracing the things about me that I don't like, because that's the things that God most likely is going to use. Those are the things. That's how weird this world is. Like, this world is so backwards. A lot of times you think it's what your strengths are that's going to be the thing that propels you into your destiny. But 9 out of 10 is more so of your weaknesses, because your weaknesses is where God shows himself strong on your behalf. So, because God likes us to depend on him. So, God likes to bring his super to our natural to make it supernatural. So, yeah, I believe that a lot of the things that we hate about ourselves are really beautiful things.
Those are our birthmarks.
Yeah, those are our birthmarks. Those are things that make us unique. Like I said, living in a society that is so vain, especially as of now. I think this is the most
vanity, like
vanity.
Very vain.
I was trying to find a word.
Very
vain. I was trying to say vain.
Very vain.
A very vain society. More than
not saying vain, but let me ask you: do you have what are 3 insecurities that you think?
Oh, just like things that I don't.
For you, just
for me,
because we all have insecurities, and there are many. Like I used to believe that.
It's only one.
2 or 3. No, there are many, and there are always going to be many because we're always growing. I recognize reflection. You know, the more you grow, the more you change. There's always something that comes along that you're going to love about it, but it's something that you're going to hate about it too. You know what I mean? So, for you, can you just give us 3 things that make you insecure right away?
Well, I do know that my stuttering, and it's not even that I stutter. It's just that when I get excited or when I'm talking passionately about something, I just lose control sometimes. And it can get worse, but some people like it. I feel weird. But anyway, my forehead, because my mom got a big. Well, it runs. But I'm not gonna say my family. But I know my mom got a big forehead, and I mean I can equate. I like it because I guess it came from her, but I really don't like it. Me being a trans experience and kind of being like not being able to wear the styles that I want to. A lot of the times, the other girls can kind of wear, and it kind of makes me insecure because I need to have that extra additive, like you said, like that lace front or that closure. But I've never been a girl that denied it. So nobody ever say, "Oh, girl, I hate myself." But yeah, my forehead, my stuttering, and right.
I mean, I can go with that. I guess where I'm getting at is that was an example of where insecurities could come from. They could come from it being physical, how you said how sometimes, or from internal, as far as your speech goes. Because once upon a time, I used to stutter. But I actually, it's crazy. I never even talked about this out loud to anybody. No, but I used to have to take speech therapy in like third or fourth grade because I could hear myself talk in my head, but when it came out,
it was like you would speak faster than you could think it, or you was thinking.
Right. And insecurities are bad. They come from inside. They could be physical. They could be mental. They could be traumatic. But I think one of the best ways of working at insecurities, if you can't, while working at it by yourself, is getting around people to help you in a way polish or embrace those insecurities. And that can only come with teach, in a say. If you go back to what I was saying about my affirmations, me just finding out an insecurity about you and how you feel about your forehead. But it reminds me of some knowledge that I've obtained that basically I discovered there is a melanated tribe who is specifically noticeably, they are revered for their elongated head shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And it is said through roots and culture's history and story that once upon a time there was a being to inhabit this plane, and it was very specific to the beings had elongated skulls, and that was basically a signature of royalty, intelligence, and in a modern day sense, God, and it's very, very real, So for somebody like me, hearing that from a friend, it's like, well, I respect and I hate insecurity, but if it makes you feel any better, maybe over time, know that yes, you see what I don't see, but if this is what you see, it is because you may have royal bloodline.
You don't even know it, yeah.
So I think sometimes just being around,
because like I said, we're not taught that, we don't know these things. We're just going off by what society tells us, what our families tell us, what somebody in school and told you that you're ugly or made you believe that you're not beautiful. Society standards, especially being in America in this westernized culture, they've only glorified white, blue hair, blind eye. You know what I'm saying? Like being colored or being colored, fair skin, brown, black. However, even just being a darker hue of light is just, we've been conditioned to not love ourselves in our regular state. And I get that, because again, I get that there are people that have different talents and gifts to enhance our look. As far as like makeup artists and surgeons, like I said last time, like surgeons and makeup artists and hairstylists and stuff, like they're made to help us enhance. So there's nothing wrong. Listen, there's nothing wrong with getting your styles, getting your looks, doing what you do to want to better yourself. But again, don't forget how beautiful that you are. Just being you. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we live especially near. I've never seen so much surgery. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. As a trans person, and now in my community, I've seen people and the girls go back and forth, and people go, but to see real women, and where I work at, there's so many women coming with BBLs and big giant lips and small waist, and their butts look so thick. It's just disgusting. Not even just say like that, but it looks very unattractive,
unnatural,
and just to hear people say, and when the people in the lines. You can tell that thing's fake, or damn, she don't love herself enough to, you know what I'm saying? Even though can't nobody tell you how to feel about your own self, because again, how we feel about ourselves, nobody, you know what I mean? We are allowed to feel how we want to feel, but at the same time,
you can't ignore the
yeah,
and a lot of times it goes back to what I was saying. I don't think a lot of it is not being mean. I think a lot of it is open critique. You give me something to critique. walking around flaunting it unconsciously, then I happen to say something and then notice that it doesn't, then you can't really say I'm being mean, you know. But I do want to roll back really quick on something that you said. I just downloaded. I remember you saying something that last week where these people, you know, who develop these arts and these crafts, you know, are kind of made to do, you know, certain things. And in a sense, yes, I agree, but I also see where the darkness comes from that too, in a way of it being a little bit of a dark magic. I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because 2,000 years, people were not getting heart surgeries, transplants, opening up, getting facial, you know, people weren't doing it. And I think that is a perfect example of how you take something good and turn it bad. And not body shaming, not saying that, you know, surgeons they're bad. I'm just giving an analogy. I'm giving a comparison of the times.
Right, they weren't around. But then again, remember, like you said, it's the time.
Right. But
we didn't have that.
Yes, we did, because we had there are studies, there are documents, photos included of our melanated women being openly dissected with no anesthesia, you know, being operated on, looked at, and examined because of us being hard. Now, we had the equipment to keep a person alive, open them up, dissect them, look at everything organized, and still have the technology to be able to do what is it with taxidermy? You know, the stuffing of the animals and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's no difference from the surgeries that we can do on humans. I think the difference is once somewhere somebody came along and said it's okay to do it on people. And I think that's where the corruption came in. You know. But that's just how I see it. It's like God gave you the skills and the knowledge to be able to dissect certain things so you can find out what it is and how it operates. Respectfully, not in a sense for you to play God, create, turn. If God didn't want you to have a perfect teeth and perfect smile, then you shouldn't. It's just my opinion, but it doesn't make it a fact. I'm just giving an analogy of how something good could be turned into something bad. And now
perverted.
Could be perverted. And now where we have these doctors that yes, do enhance us in most of the best ways and a lot of us need, now it's turned to perverse where it's like, oh, I'm not going to get that checkup, but I'm about to go get that BBL.
Yeah,
and you don't even know what type of health risk that you have. There are a lot of people
how people get. I'm sorry to cut you off. Like how people get their veneers and them teeth, but you don't go to the dentist all the time. But you want white teeth. You want to cover up them yellow stains and that callus and all that, instead of just going to get your teeth fixed and clean. Don't get your gums checked out. You just want to get, because like I said, people nowadays it's all about money, so these people don't care about none of that. They're going to pick them teeth right on top of your teeth and keep it moving.
It's crazy that, you know, they say this is the age of Aquarius, and it's also the age of technology. Whereas though, honestly, it's safe to say nobody's thinking it. Nobody's thinking for themselves. The next flashy thing that comes up, you get it, grab it, and gossip.
Mm-hmm. Get it, grab it, and gossip.
Get it, grab it, and gossip. And now the race is to become who can be the first to do it, who can be the first to hold on to it the longest. But we're missing the point here. You know, and all of those play a key role in insecurity. Because naturally we're supposed to learn. We're supposed to learn what makes us uncomfortable so we can make us comfortable. That's why it's called insecure. So you can learn to secure yourself. So you can learn to be okay. So I can learn to be okay with being feminine and masculine at the same time. And not have to worry about why some days I'm this way and some days I'm that way, but still looking like this. You know, while trying to block out how society is, well, why you so this? Because that's what society did. Society won't ask you to educate them. They won't ask you to teach.
They'll just go straight for the gusto.
They will go straight for the gusto and ask you why you doing it.
You're mentally ill.
Why am I doing it? Do I ask you why you breathe?
Because like I said, it's funny how they be wanting trans people and gay people to fill out their life in front of. Oh, we gotta live. we have to live out and have to tell everybody our whole business. We got to tell everybody our rundown. But everybody can be the thieves and the liars and the disease carriers and the all kind of stuff. They can be cis people, especially, can be everything that they want to be behind closed doors. And then God tell us so. But just because we are who we are, we gotta be up front automatically with everything.
Or up front, because there's some people
that's basically what I was meaning to say.
That's like, oh, that's what these guys that I know. It's like, yeah, man, you know, whatever. I would just appreciate it if he what. If this masculine man secure his masculinity and his sexuality starts snapping his fingers and clucking his tongue, that's not who he is. Mm-hmm. So stop trying to force somebody to be who you want them to be for your comfortability. That's called insecurity.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
that's called insecurity. And we all have them. The issue is there are many of us who are not working on it and covering it up behind all the designers and the lace fronts
and the surgeries and the more surgeries. Because, like I said, I think that we live in a time where people aren't happy with their natural bodies and stuff. Like how, like for us, I remember like the '90s girls coming up. You know, they were very, very natural and real. You know, they didn't have the BBLs and there was silicone and stuff like that out then back then. But even that, they didn't have a lot of people that were doing it and that were, they had the ones that were doing it illegally and that were hurting some people. So that's what kept some of the girls away. But like I said, we lived in a time back then where being natural was so glorified. Like I said, even just the '90s, like entertainment stars and actors and actresses, like they were very natural. Like they ain't want, it was all about your natural beauty and, and again, I get that we are allowed to have enhancements and you want to get what you can get, it's okay. But this don't lose sight.
Don't lose sight of who you are.
How beautiful you are.
And remember, this is not a campaign for, anything ill. This is just education on self-love. Because it's about you first. I was one of those girls. One of my insecurities, believe it or not, is my body. Because I think my body is both masculine and feminine. Mm-hmm. And
it's a lot of girls feel like you.
And you know what?
And it's always so crazy when people say that because it sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good, but it's like, girl, I'm not naturally born that, so I feel you. So, I'm not biological, I'm bionic.
Right. So
it's different.
That was something that I had to get. I had to struggle with because I went through my whole epidemic of booty pops and pads because I wanted to look, how society was telling me I should look, or how even girls I was hanging around was even hinting like, bro, keep that tacked up and you'll be as if you couldn't see that I was comfortable in my skin already, but that I wasn't thinking about being bodied out. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking through the day, what else can I do? So for a long time I was one of them girls that was like, I gotta get in where I fit in.
I'll be if I do it, it'll be when I'm ready. Basically. If that's the if. Which but I would need it though.
But the stress and the turmoil is heavy on that. It's
and the peer pressure. It's peer pressure, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's I say the same thing. It's very peer pressure a lot of times seeing like these girls really because it looks good for some people. You do be like, nice. I wish I had a little bit of that. Like not in no jealous single white female kind of way. That's what's wrong with a lot of y'all girls. Y'all get jealous of other people how they look, and y'all get very single white female-ish vibe, and you want get it done, and it looks like yep, and you be mad, there you like how I just shared. Speaking about that, I just shared this this trans woman who is now detransitioning. If anyone knows, which probably do, the Facebook, it's called Soft Underbelly or something like that. But it's like a real known Facebook page where they talk to a lot of like addicts and prostitutes, pimps, trans people, just people kind of that are in the desperation like stages, or people that's just out there, Yeah, it kind of, because now I'm like, in some of the interviews are very informative. I do like, but it seems like it's more triggered I mean,
For
more
entertainment,
yeah.
You know, these
So
people aren't helping them. It's kind of like, all right, look, I know you about to
I got
get
some
a
money
trick,
for you.
but here's that trick money that you was gonna get if you just tell us the story. Or
Tell us
answer
the
a few
story,
questions.
yeah.
They don't.
And you know what color is behind the mic, so you know they love exploitation. But anyway, um, there was a post the other day. 'Cause I get triggered by a lot of different things. When it comes to my community, yeah, I keep my mouth shut about some things because I do know my community can cut up, and I don't agree with everything that the community does. I'm one of them kind of people. Yes, I love my community. I know where I came from. I know that I'm also a part of helping this community get to a better place. But again, you don't have to be in agreement with everything the community does. And
And
it's
it's
some
only
effed up
right
stuff,
because you're not
and it's some
naive.
crazy stuff, and even some stuff that I've done that I'm not proud of. You know what I mean? So I get, but again, I just think that we as a community have gotten to a point where we are too fixated on each other's looks and how each other look. Because the interview was about a trans woman that is detransitioning. She went through a lot of different surgery. Well, first of all, she was kind of like a Spanish descent, something like that. Because you can tell she had a very strong accent. But she basically was transgendered, and she had an SRS. But now she regrets everything that she's done, and now wants to detransition. So when the interview even first came on, she was presenting herself as he. She's like, when the guy's asking her who she is, she's like, her pronouns is he. Da da da. So first of all, that's already like okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it intrigued me though because I wanted to hear more. So again, she was dropping some gems because a lot of times, especially in this community, people do move too fast. And again, yes, it is. It's very because again, we are not biologically what we are now. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of changing that goes on. There's a lot of different things that happen in the midst of it. So again, you have to have the right guidance because if you don't, you will do the wrong things and you will do stuff just off of impulse and just watching other people do it and you feel like it's good, or you see other people's outcomes or supposed fruit from it, but you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, what they're dealing with, or what they had to go through to even get what they're doing or how they're doing it.
I couldn't agree with you even more. As somebody who has been fortunate enough to grow up alongside of the same, I have been witness to a lot of the misguidance, the misjudgment, the lack of concern, the lack of education, mostly behind
a lot of this transition.
Lost youth, because we were all youth, and
lost broken youth.
We were all there, and I say I grew up alongside of the community because I hadn't missed a step. I just hadn't taken that step to get involved for some reason, and it didn't matter how many times I took that step forward. It just always kept me alongside. Whereas though I think I understand without shadow cloaking anybody that these detransition stories are merely stories of people waking up in their person of realization.
It's not for them.
That not only is for them,
it's not for them,
but they're waking up late in their life, whereas though somebody a long time ago should have told them, this is what you want to do. Take your time. Don't rush and do it. Do something else. Keep your focus over here, and then think about it later. But do this for another 2 more years. That's just how I wholeheartedly feel.
No, a lot of them are.
The first time I heard a detransition story, which was in my living room where I used to live 6 years ago, and I couldn't believe it. And I opened up, and then it was like it was a domino effect. So I knew that Spirit was giving me this information because I never thought it was even a possibility. I never seen no turning back for me.
Right.
So I, and even though I don't have the experience of a lot of or many girls, I just had never seen that before. And after hearing enough of it, it just makes my heart a little bit sad, and it makes me just want to advocate that more so, like you said, like let's stop focus on how we look or who we sleeping with, And let's focus on what's important in each other's lives. Because 5-10 years from knowing your friend, the last thing you want to do is see your friend in the mental hospital because they done broke down, because they done overdosed on some type of drugs that he wasn't around, or because they done went and did something heinous to themselves that they did not think through, but they were pressured on. You have to understand
I believe
that a lot of us, when we get together, like you said, are trauma bonded. We are so trauma bonded that anything that smells like glitter. Did you hear what I said? Because we're blind. So all we can do is go off our smells when we're lost and in trauma and we meet our friends and people. We're literally blind. And these detransition stories that I keep hearing, yes, I love them. I love to hear people wake up into themselves. But I also recognize that I feel like something is being pushed.
Yeah.
And I feel like these detransition stories being pushed alongside of the mental disability just makes the stories go hand in hand, and collectively it makes it look as if it will make us all look like, oh, you know what, we do have a mental issue. Because if these people are waking up and realizing and saying that that's not them, then everybody else must feel like that.
And they try to go by some statistics that they looked up. People know the people talking about the people that actually, some of them that do kill themselves because of other people not accepting them and people bullying them and people hurting them. It's not because they want to turn back. And then, like, a lot of people that killed themselves in these type of predicaments is because of the lack of support and people bullying them and families not loving them and families kicking them out. Some people cannot handle that. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm gonna get back to just real quick what I was saying. She because she dropped a lot of gems. She dropped a lot of gems, like how you were saying, as far as a lot of people need to do more mental evaluations and realizing, is this something I want to do? Is this really something I want to go through? Like how they said before, when people used to get SRSs, they had to go through a year of therapy before they want, to get that, because they want to make sure that you want to make sure this is what you want. Because a lot of people now, it's kind of like we living in a microwavable.
It's a trend.
Yeah, it's like a trend. It's like, and then now they, especially with the Medicare and the ability to be able just to get a pussy overnight. Anybody can just give what they want, and they're not doing the right psychological work. So then they wind up it's not working, because what people don't understand, especially people that are transitioning and ones that want to get SRS, you have to take care of that. And it's not something that you just get and you just say, oh, I don't. You have to really work. It's a daily, kind of forever thing. Because it's not something that was actually built there for you to use.
Right. But I like to say it's foolishness on both sides too. Because, like you said, I came up in an era where you needed therapy in order. That was a step in order to get to the process. Mm-hmm. That was a step. It was mandatory.
Now I don't hear people
talk about it at all. What's crazy is I say the foolishness is on both sides, because you have the blind people just walking into shit, walking out the hospital like this. And then you have the people doing the work, just doing it aimlessly. But then turn around and, God forbid, that something happens to somebody, now they want to sue the people. It's kind of like, why? If you can't see the malarkey before your eyes, like, you're probably part of it. You're probably part of it. For me, once upon a time, if I ever thought about getting work, I'm straddling the fence comfortably, because I am a fine believer that, one, nothing in this world is free, and if anything is given out vastly like that, it got to be something with it, So I just kind of feel like,
you feel like a test dummy. You don't want to feel like a test dummy.
I don't want to feel like a test dummy. Once upon a time, I had just enough, and that was right around the time where insurance started to cover it. For some reason, I didn't do either. I didn't pay for it. I didn't go under the knife. Just download it like that's going against your
plan. Yeah, and it's not for everybody. And they don't gotta be like your look. You know what I'm saying?
But that was our insecurities. And I think we have to learn our insecurities. To start being secure with them. Like you said, like we have to learn to be okay with our weaknesses.
Some things you're not gonna be able to change.
Right. There are some things that you can't stop looking at, and that's because you got to learn what it's for.
It's meant. That was a part of who you are. That's what made, and like I said, I get where people be like, I get that, but again, a person doesn't have to be secure right in their security. A person isn't always secure in their insecurity or have to be secure with the insecurity because again, it's an insecurity for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But you have to learn to embrace them because those are the things that are really what make you special and dope. You know, because there's a lot of people that can relate to that. That's why. Because there's a lot of people that are just like, you know how many probably girls like us stutter? And it's like happy that we're finally up here saying, look, I stutter. Or I have stuttered. Or I still do.
Girls that's probably feel like, I got good in the house, but if I put on these jeans, my body is just not giving it. It's giving it. It's giving it. And we just have to learn to accept that we are that one of a kind for real in real life.
Right.
Because
if you see what
I see walking down the street every day, it's literally like a cartoon.
Everybody's the same. Yep, everybody's the same.
Nobody changes their hairstyle. Nobody changes anything.
Everybody looks the same.
Everybody looks the same. And I get it, but this is how I know I am not a part of it.
It's like a factory.
You know,
a factory of Barbies and dolls that people just like. Everybody's the same.
Exactly, everyone's the same. And then we're the ones that came out a little bit too perfect. So we go in the void box.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they forget about us the whole time. We're watching everything that unfolds. That's why we're able to come back to you every week and let you know.
Yes, guys, because like I said, we want to wrap it up, but again, we had to come up here with this topic, and it's something that we, of course, we're going to keep dwelling into back and forth throughout the season and just in the season because it's something that we have to because we have to learn how to love ourselves.
Right.
You have to learn because if you don't love yourself, how you gonna love somebody else? How you gonna love those around you? How are you gonna be your best you?
Picture it
like loving
this.
you.
You don't love you enough. Somebody gonna love you in the worst ways.
Mm-hmm. And make you believe that their way is the way to love.
I'm gonna say it again. If you don't love yourself enough, somebody will love you in the worst ways. I have been loved in the worst ways. And the reason I can smile about it now is because I've healed. I didn't go through it, I healed. So it's no longer a callous or a wound anymore. But I can say I learned the worst way because I didn't love myself at one time. You know what I mean? And not loving yourself will have you doing things that you wouldn't do. Will have you doing things without thinking.
Yep.
You know, this is
blaming other people.
Blaming other people. This is your life. Live it. But I'm going to tell you what really makes you the gem is when you're the only one in the room that's like,
yeah.
That's not for me.
Be different. Okay? That's the whole thing. Be unique, be different. Because it's too many clones out here now. I think this is one of the best times to stand out. To be yourself. Because it's too many clones. I think now people are in such of a search of real and genuine and authentic that if you be yourself, it's going to draw the right people to you. Or it might even help people start being who they want, you know what I'm saying, being their authentic self, seeing you being your authentic self. Don't ever think you not being your authentic self is not the right way to go.
That's right.
Because somebody is watching.
And somebody is always watching. I say that to say, just still touching insecurities, that's one of the first things that we see when we meet people. I don't know about y'all, but my insecurities, like you said, they're always there. So because I know I'm insecure with my body tight, comfortable in my skin, that's not to be confused. Very comfortable.
She's very comfortable.
But I'm a little insecure because I know this curvy is, and maybe it's not how I would like to be. It's just so much of the social construct of pressure that I have to see every single day. That's like, well, shoot, I don't hear nobody ranting and raving about natural beauty. I don't.
At all, you don't see it no more.
Maybe that's part of the glory and love that I get. When people approach me, it's like, oh, you look real.
Yep.
You look real.
Yeah. I got it. Oh, you're different.
But insecurities, they don't escape us. When you meet people every day, I guarantee you put it to the test. The first thing that you notice about that person is something about you.
Well, guys, I thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, sorry about that little intermission. But what did you have to say?
I know what I want to hear.
What?
Tell me you got some words for wisdom. Tell us you got some words for wisdom, because I don't think you did.
I think I kind of put them in the beginning of the last part.
Well, just a word. Give us a word. Give us a word.
Well, like I said in the beginning, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Okay, and that verse again is in Psalms 139, verse 14. Embrace who you are, because you were made specifically the way you are for a reason. Again, it's okay to add your little touches and add a little, but don't lose the core value of who you are and what you embody. Because again, we are all made to be different. We are all made to help each other see the beauty in each other, and you can't see the beauty in yourself if you are too busy worrying about other people and how they looking and what they got going on. Embrace your own beauty and embrace what makes you special. So when you go out there with your head up high and with your head straight forward and feeling good and grand, people can look at you and say, "Oh, she's amazing," or, "Oh, he's amazing." This and that and this and that, boy or girl. However, just again, own your insecurities, own your quirkiness, own your difference, own your uniqueness, because there's only one person like you. No one else has your same DNA. No one has your same voice. No one has your eye. Well, we have. You know what I mean? No one is like you. And remember that. Just every day you wake up, remember, if you got to say to yourself, "Lord, thank you for waking me up this day. There is nobody like me. I am who I am because I am who I am. And I am made that way because I'm specially made. And God has made me the way I am for a reason."
There's a word from Transparent Energy. I think that will conclude our segment of insecurities. How to remain secure in them.
Yes, guys. And make sure you go out this week with your head up high, ready to take on the week. It really has been nice weather out here. It has been getting a little crazy, though, a little up and down. But enjoy the weather. We are finally in spring, and this is a new month. Thank God there ain't nobody pull a whole bunch of April Fool's jokes from people, because I'm glad that we ain't playing that. This is enough. We already April Fool.
Really, really quick. I was just about to say, did you know that's the whole analogy of April Fool? Is that it's really the beginning of the new year. That's when tax season begins. That's when something else season begins. But it's technically, and we know that it's the beginning of the solar equinox, the becoming of the new season. So we know that it's technically the new year. But something else that I just learned was that that's the whole concept behind April Fools, because we're the fools.
The thing that our new year started in January. Exactly. How dumb are we?
No.
No, but that's why I'm glad that we're learning, because we do need to know these things. Like I said, in the winter time, that's the time to be manifesting and shedding and hibernating. Yeah, like that is kind of odd for them to.
But we're on.
That's why people,
it ain't
right. That's why people never kept to their resolutions.
We got elbow grease.
We got elbow grease. But guys, it was great speaking to y'all. I hope you have a great week.
It's always love.
And then soon, from the Illidale, from the city,
from the Illidale, all the way. I guess we're gonna sign out. It's still daytime. It's still beautiful outside here.
Yeah.
What is it, like 60 degrees?
No, it's
whatever it is. It's still nice. It's still good weather. But you guys, we're gonna be over and out. Remember, more to come. Check us out on YouTube,
Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you stream from. Right? Wherever you stream your visuals. Well, not your visuals, The visuals are only on YouTube, but wherever you
want to
listen, wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find us, and you will find us here again next week. If God says the same. Yeah. Ciao.